All right. Welcome everybody to our Sunday night team call. Many new faces on tonight. We're going to have Force Nation people. We're going to have some Team Fitfluence rock stars on here. So we're going to jump right into what we have to talk about tonight. We got a couple of things we want to talk about. And it's all about jumpstarting your recruiting, jumpstarting your business in the next 30 days. So we're going to go into this with a challenge. This is going to be a recruiting challenge for the next 30 days. And it's going to be something that's going to push us all, past our limits, because listen, myself included, everybody here can say that we've been struggling a little bit because we're just getting in our own way. We're staying in our own heads and not moving forward with the business. But anyway, moving forward, why we need an emotional attachment to the business. I think we just want to piggyback off of last week's team call and how we talked about inviting and purpose-driven prospecting. And I don't want to call anybody out, but show of hands, was anybody able to watch that training from last week and do the homework that we discussed and maybe dive into your reasons why or anything like that? Obi, good job, brother. Good. Anybody else have time to sit down and go over the call and things we talked about last week? No? Okay. And here's why, guys. I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about why that's important. Denise and I saw the training today again, and she sees the value in it. Now she's starting to understand what this is about. A lot of times when we talk to people about the business or the products, we talk about what they do. We talk about features and benefits. And we talk about how ours may be better than other people. And that's okay to an extent. But what people really join are you and your vision for why you do what you do. That's why having an emotional attachment to your business and to your fitness and health can change the game for you. And I'm going to do something tonight that I just decided I'm going to do because I think it's important. I want to share my why story tonight. I don't think I've ever shared it in this format. The reason why I'm doing it is because I just want to get some feedback. I know last week we talked about it, and I asked some of us to put our videos up. I don't know if anybody did, but this is an opportunity for us to give each other feedback. If I can't do it with my friends and family here, then who else can I do it with?
Well, also, I would like to, in the future, have a team call where we can spend an hour or more together and everybody can share their why in about 2 minutes or less. Because if we can't share that with each other, then how can we share that publicly, right? So that's coming in the future also. So Dave's going to be bold and he's going to take the lead and he's going to share his why story first with us.
And then after I share this, guys, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how I was able to put this together, the format, how I did it, and stuff like that. But without further ado, I'll show you guys what I have put together. And listen, I appreciate your feedback, good, bad, and different, how I can make it better, whatever. It doesn't matter. I would love to hear you guys' feedback. So here we go. So some of you know I've been working in law enforcement for about 15 years now. Past 5 years I've been as a detective, and I've been a SWAT team operator for about 7 years. And, it's been great. And, I enjoy what I do. And it's been really good for me and my family, and it's provided a lot for my family. But however, it does have its limitations and its dangers. And, I remember a few years ago, I was part of a 4-man street crime team. And there was a situation where we got involved in a foot pursuit. And I remember, and listen, I was a guy, I've always been an athlete all my life. I was a high school baseball player. I was a college athlete. So I felt like I was in pretty good shape. As we're on this foot pursuit, I was in the lead, and this guy ended up falling down, and I was able to get on top of him and subdue him. But as I'm on top of him, I start to realize that I couldn't even give him commands, let alone try to fight with the guy, because I was so overweight, out of shape, I couldn't even control my breathing. And thank God that I had the rest of my team show up to grab this guy and take care of him, while I had to step back and sit against a car and catch my breath. That's how far out of shape I was at that point. Yeah. So that night I came home and I thought about what had happened. And I was so disgusted at myself and how I allowed myself to get to this point. And my family deserved a lot better. So I also began to realize that although on paper I do make a good salary for myself, with a family of 5, living in New York, paying New York taxes, paying all the bills that we do, the month gets tight pretty fast. And I got sick and tired of saying no to my kids. I got sick and tired of just working to pay bills. I got sick and tired of saying, no, guys, we can't afford the vacation this year because, we just can't afford it. We can't go on this vacation. So I knew there had to be a better way. I knew there had to be something out there. So if I tried to work overtime at work meant I'm spending more time with criminals and victims as opposed to spending time with my family. So I said, no, something had to change. Something had to change. So around that time, that's when I got really serious about my health and fitness. I was able to lose about 35 pounds, and I've kept it off ever since. And since starting my business, it gives me the ability to earn an extra income and make money every week from home while getting to the best shape of my life. And it also provides me the ability to have something and to have an exit strategy to get out of law enforcement when the time comes. This is why I do what I do. This is why it's important to me. Because I wanted to be able to share my struggles with other members of law enforcement, first responders, and husbands and fathers who may be going through the same struggles that I have. And I'm able to do that through my business here with Team Beachbody. So that's my story. That's my why. I thank you guys for listening, and I would appreciate any feedback if you have any. But, I hope that you guys got some type of emotional connection with me, whether you can relate to me somehow, some way. I don't know. But that's my story. Anybody have anything they want to say? Anybody get any feedback? Somebody help me.
You used the word disgusted in the beginning, and that connected with me because that's how I felt when I started. So I thought that was a really good power word, that reaches people. But your story is awesome. I didn't know all that about you.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad that you're hearing that for the first time, because it's helping me get more comfortable, speaking about it. And if I can have that impact on other people, then it makes it worth it. Thank you.
That was great. So, when we tell our story, we have to say it enough times where it becomes a muscle, where it's just ingrained into our psyche, where we can, at a drop of a dime, tell it to anybody and feel confident that our story is our truth and we're doing what we're doing because of what we've went through. And there's so many levels to what Dave just shared that even Christine connected with one portion of that. And she's not a male in law enforcement, so it has to be a way where when you're telling the story, no matter how different you are from your prospect, they're going to choose one thing to connect with, and they're going to join you for that. Not because of the shake that you have, not because of the workout DVD that you're selling, not because of the abs that you have, but because of what you went through and how they can relate to you. So that's an emotional attachment. And that's what we do. We share our story. And just like Simon Sinek in his book starts with why, right? People do what we do because of our struggles. They connect with our why, not with the tool that we have, right? We all have the same tool, but why are they going to join you? All right, so you guys grab a pen and a pad, because this is where the challenge comes in. Okay? So we all heard with Taryn her influence on us, right? That we need skin in the game, right? It's a big buzzword. We need skin in the game. So Dave and I came up with this challenge, and we're going to ask that you all put some skin in the game. It's going to be some monetary value. And depending on what your outcome is, you can get that back in 30 days. No loss. Okay? So we have a recruiting challenge. And here's the game plan. Okay? We want you guys to come up with a number no less than 2, okay? Amount of people that you will recruit in the next 30 days. We're going to use the website stick.com, STICKK.com. We're going to invest $50. That is a bet. We're betting $50 on ourselves, okay? At the end of the 30 days, if you do not meet your number, those $50 go to someone that you despise. An ex, a nosy neighbor, that bitch that stole your man. I don't care. I don't care who you decide. But those $50 do not get back into your bank account. All right? Also, if you do not meet your number, you have to give up something that you love for 2 weeks straight. Whether it is a food item, whether it is a show, whether it's
working out,
you have to, something that you love to do every day, you have to give it up for 2 weeks. So you're going to lose $50 and you're going to give up something for 2 weeks. And if you don't have anything that you love, then you're going to wear your opposing team shirt and hat every day for 2 weeks. So we'll figure it out.
Rebecca, I got a nice Met hat for you can wear. So listen, guys, it's got to hurt. It's got to hurt, because if it doesn't hurt, if it doesn't piss you off, then it's not going to be worth it. It's not going to make you get up and say, oh, I got to do my work because this is what's going to happen. Okay? Imagine yourself for 2 straight weeks that you're feeling good, you're feeling strong, you're feeling healthy, but because you didn't reach your numbers, you can't work out. Or you're losing $50. I mean, listen, $50 is $50. You know,
not only losing it, you're giving it to somebody that you hate.
Right.
So we're going to hold you guys accountable to that. I'm going to put up a post inside of Team Fitfluence, and we're going to have you guys put your number, screenshot your contribution into stick.com. It's a reputable website, and there's a coach there that's going to hold us all accountable. And at the end of those 30 days, that money goes wherever you don't want it to go. Or even Dave said, listen, if you don't hate anybody, give it to the KKK. Oh my God. Can you imagine? We'll figure it out. So I think this is a good way, and I think it's fun also. But with that being said, these people are not just numbers. These are real people who we should be giving this opportunity to as many people as possible, right? We should not be holder backers. We should not be stingy. We should not, be selfish. We should share this with everybody. And I think having a little bit of monetary loss in there is going to, especially if we're going to get that $50 back, I'm cringing because you know what we can do with $50? I think that's going to put a little fire under our asses, and it'll be a little friendly competition as well, right? And we'll keep keep track of everybody inside of Team Fitfluence. That'll be like the Hubble, the main motherboard. So we'll give you some tips now, okay, on recruiting. Dave is going to start with cold market recruiting.
I am.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I am. Wow, you caught me off guard.
Yeah, well, this is something that you shared.
Well, some of the messaging, like the Facebook
right?
messaging stuff we talked about. Mm-hmm. Okay. Talk about your stuff, and let me get back to that.
Yeah. So with me, everybody does their recruiting different. Dave is better at cold market prospecting. He connects with guys with with his vibe. right? He's in law enforcement. Guys speak numbers. This business is a way to create financial freedom, and guys understand that language. Women are totally different. Women are very kind of selfish, and they worry about their body and their looks, and they want to look good, and they want to lose weight, and they want to reach their goal. And so for me, I'm better with the vital process. I work better creating a transformation story and then having that person fall in love with the product, and then I convert them into coaches. I've done that the entire time that I've been coaching, even before they even called it the vital process. That's just how I work my business.
So talk about that a little bit. Let's
yeah.
Go into
So
that.
for me, it's usually when I sit down with a prospect, or when I Zoom, or when I'm on the phone. I always do everything on the phone or on Zoom or face to face. I don't do anything over Messenger. I take it off of Messenger because I like them to hear and feel my excitement and my enthusiasm. So, as a personal trainer and group fitness instructor, I know how much it costs to join a gym and to pay for personal training. So I come from that angle, and as you guys all have joined the gym at one point or another in your life. You've paid that fee, and that fee hurts. So I feel like a challenge pack is pennies compared to $450 a month for a gym membership and personal training. So when people give me a money objection, I welcome that. I love a money objection. So what I do is I set up that person's entire year. We have enough programs to set up this entire year. You're going to start with hammer and chisel. Then you're going to move on to 21-day fix extreme. Then you're going to move on to 22-minute hardcore. Of course, I get to know this person kind of like in a PAR-Q way, where I know their what their abilities are. If I feel like they are way too overweight to do certain programs, then I wouldn't suggest those programs. So based on what they can and cannot do, their limitations and everything, I take that into consideration, and I give them 12 months worth of workouts. So it's kind of like I'm a coach prescribing them their whole year. Then I let them know which meal plan they're going to follow. I check in with them weekly. I schedule phone calls. I give them an amazing experience in their challenge group. And then when it's like maybe 3 weeks into their challenge and their Shakeology is about to ship, I let them know that they can take advantage of their 25% discount, plus share my story and what this business has been able to do for me, plus share the possibility of what they can achieve by becoming a coach as well. So for me, that works. So if you guys want to take a little bits and pieces of what I just shared and try that with your next challengers, not everybody jumps in quickly, but eventually you give them an amazing experience, and they trust you and they believe you, and they start to see their transformation, and people start to take notice. If they don't join you right away, at least within 3 to 6 months, they will. Okay, they will, guaranteed. And yeah, for me, it takes a little bit of time, but it works.
Very cool. Very good. And it does work because it does build belief in what we do. So it definitely works there. So I just want to talk to you guys, getting back to the story, on different approaches on how to approach people and have them listen to your story, and then how to transition into the next thing. So there's two ways to approach people. There's a direct approach and the indirect approach. The direct approach would be you reach out to somebody, obviously from you. So the plan is, the next step after you create your why story is to write a brand new list of people, of your contacts. Doesn't matter if they said no to you 4, 5, 6 times before. It doesn't matter, because you may not have shared this story with them before and related to them in this level. And if they say no again, so what? Just keep going. It's going to give you, and like you said, build that muscle of consistency and strength in telling your story. Direct approach would be something like, you reach out to them, say, how you doing? Listen, I'd love to share with you why I do this business in the first place. I know you see me do this business that I do. I don't know if I ever share with you why I do what I do. Would you be open to listening to me for a few minutes, and I'll share with you why I do what I do? It may or may not be a fit for you. If it is, great. If not, no big deal. something along those lines. I mean, the keys to think about are, would you be open to listening to my story? It may or may not be a fit for you. If it is, great. If not, no big deal. Those concepts in there, word it however you need to word it. That's a good way for you to approach somebody and not be so salesy or, so abrasive, I guess is the other word I would say. And the indirect approach would be somebody who said no to you a few times, or somebody who is not into the business or for whatever reason. You would say something like, I know that you aren't interested in my business, but I wanted to ask you a huge favor. Would you give me an opportunity to tell you why I started my business? And maybe you may know somebody who could benefit from what we do. And if you could point me in the right direction and recommend somebody to me, that'd be great. I really appreciate that. So that would be a way to make them feel like they're an authority, make them feel like they're important because you're looking for their referral or you're looking for their expertise or their knowledge in giving you feedback in your story and help maybe helping you with a referral. So that's another way to do it. And then tell your story. And then after you tell your story, the next thing would be to ask a question, to transition into you using a third-party tool. Third-party tool being, whatever video you want to share, whether it be Welcome Team Beachbody video or whatever it is, you ask the question. Now, let me ask you, can you relate to any of this? Or does any part of my story resonate with you? Those are two good questions to ask because you're getting their feedback and they'll let you know what part of your story resonated with them, whether it be the fitness part of it or the money part of it or business, whatever side it is, then you're going to know which way you're going to want to go with them as a prospect. So then you would say something like, hey, if I shared with you a 7-minute video that explains everything we do with my business, would you be open to taking a look at that? Send the video and plan and schedule that follow-up right after that. So that's the process on how to do the inviting and use the purpose-driven prospecting with your challenges. And the goal is for the next 30 days with this challenge is to get your story and get it in front of as many people as humanly possible. Write a list of 300 and get in front of at least 300 people. And I'm sure you'll be able to do that. If you can do 300 people, you'll be able to recruit your numbers, whatever number you pick. And when you put it into stick.com.
So show of hands, how many of you guys have already written your story out?
How many of you would like some help with tweaking it or just a couple of things to add to it to help you out?
Do you guys need help with that? Okay.
Because one of the steps in the training is, there's usually when people get started with network marketing, there's 5 areas where they're lacking. 1 of 5 areas, or it could be several of them. And they are, number 1, time, money, security, health, or purpose. So you want to take some time to think about what are either the 1 or 2 things that strike you as the most important in your life as to why you got started. And then you want to, like I said last week, give yourself time to just sit down and just brain dump things that were going on in your life and think about specific events in your life that were going on.
Say that again.
Yeah. So number 1, so the 5 free things were.
Write this down, guys.
Time. These are things that almost every single person is lacking in one of these 5 areas. Time, money, security, health, or purpose. Maybe somebody doesn't have a great job and they make good money, but they don't have purpose in their life. They don't have something to work towards or be a part of, right? And then what you want to do is pick the 1 or 2 things that strike you the most, write them down, and write down the reasons why. Go through your life before you became a coach and really examine specific events in your life. Like when my story, when I talked about the foot pursuit that I had, that was a specific moment in my life where made me realize, wow, I really need to get back in shape. So specificity is important because people can relate to stories. People love listening to stories. You could talk facts all you want, but you tell a story, people, you have their ear. And then writing it out. Hold on.
Yeah. So you choose which of the 5 areas you were most dissatisfied with. Out of the 5, I chose 4. That's how deep I'm going into my story. Out of those 5 things, and I'm a happy person, and Millie can tell you, Mildred and I have been friends since kindergarten. She knows me better than anybody knows me. And I'm a very happy person. But we all go through shit. We all have struggles, okay? And no matter how many people are smiling on the outside, there's a struggle inside, and they need what you have. Okay, guys? Always know that. You all have something to offer someone else, okay? Out of the 5, my struggle was time, because I had no time to give my children. I was working like an animal, and our relationship struggled. My kids were acting out. I couldn't even sit down to eat a meal with them because I was working so much. And even though I was working so many hours, I didn't have the money to show for it. My health was deteriorating, and I felt I had no purpose. Even though I had the best friends in the world, when you lose touch, you have no more community. So creating this community with this business and getting to know people and having that support is unlike anything else. And I see so many people lonely wandering this world, and I wish they understood how one little business can give you the best friends that you've never been able to meet them otherwise, you know? And this is something that oh my gosh, like it almost brings tears to my eyes to realize how deeply, madly in love I am with my teammates, you know? And I would never have had that. I would never have had that if this didn't fall into my lap, you know? So there's something in everybody, you know? And even if they have like the best job ever, they may be lonely, right? Or their health may be lacking, you know? Or they may not even have purpose in life. I felt like, you know, when I was a stay-at-home mom, I had no purpose in life. You know, even before I became a personal trainer, Dave was working. He had his marathons, he had his triathlons, and I was just home with the kids, 55 pounds overweight. I didn't even want to leave the house, you know? So there's a story that you can pull from every part of your life, and, you know, with a snap of a finger, you'll know when to use that story, you know? So writing this and making that brain dump, like Dave said, it's very important.
And here's a few steps on refining it. Here's a few questions that you can ask to really nail it down and to be specific with, you know, your story. And these are things that helped me put mine together. Here's the framework. You want to make it about 90 seconds. Your story, you want to bring it down to about 90 seconds. And it's going to take practice, you know, because a lot of us, I'm sure, we're going to have about 3 or 4 pages of notes when we start thinking about our stories, right? Tammy, I see you already got 5 pages over there.
Tammy has a big story.
So, but you want to trim it down to about 90 seconds. And
can I say really quick? Yes, we all have like big stories, and some of us have like shorter stories than others. But what you're gonna do with this is you're gonna be able to consolidate it and maybe create like 3 different stories that you can share for 3 different situations, depending on the prospect.
Yes. Very good point. Very good point. You bring that up because I mean, there's different aspects of my story that I can change and yeah, definitely. Good point. So the other thing was, again, what was lacking in your life before? You want to reference the 1 or 2 areas that we talked about before: the time, the health, the money, and everything like that. The second question is, can you give a specific example that was the turning point for you? Did you have a breaking point? Was there a specific event or an experience that did it for you. Pick the one that stands out the most. You may have a few. Pick the one that stands out the most. And how did that experience make you feel? What emotions did you have? Remember that emotions and feelings are what will make the connection to your prospect's limbic area of the brain, the decision-making area of the brain. And how did your business provide a solution? How was it able to solve your problem? For example, like starting my business gave me the ability to do this, or it's because of my business I've been able to find my passion and my purpose in life, or whatever it means to you. And finally, what is the specific contribution and impact that you are looking to make? You want to tie it back to your why, your mission. My mission now is to help other stay-at-home moms find purpose in their life and live a better, whatever it is for you, whatever that mission is for you. And by the way, I was able to do this through my business or through my company or through Beachbody or whatever. And then then that's it. Leave it at that. Allow them to be curious. Allow them to ask the questions. So there you go, kids. I think that's about it. I think we covered pretty much everything with that.
Yes.
Right?
So tonight I'm going to create a post and I'm going to ask you guys what deadline should we give everybody? Because we want to do a 30-day challenge.
30 days, right? So
we'll give them by Tuesday nights, Wednesday night.
Well, they need time to work in their why.
Friday.
Do some homework. Yeah.
Okay, so then
we'll think about it. We'll give you some time and let you know.
We'll give you guys till Friday, and of course, people who are not on the call right now will be able to watch the playback. And if you joined late, you can watch the playback as well. We'll put it up tonight. And then we'll explain it for those who have not joined. That way, everybody else can partake in this. We'll give you guys till Friday to do everything. To do your $50, upload it to stick.com, choose what you're gonna lose that money to, and decide how many recruits you're going to be able to have in 30 days. Did I say that right?
I don't know. You know how to listen to you.
My Spanglish is not very pretty. And
two
is the minimum. 2 is the minimum. Okay, so a minimum of 2 recruits. I'm going for 10 recruits in 30 days.
Whoa.
That's my number.
Yes.
I'm giving $100, not $50.
Whoa.
Yep. That's me. That's what I'm deciding to do.
Yes. Make it happen.
I haven't decided who I'm going to give that $100 bill to, because I don't hate anybody. I do hate things. I do hate like some sort of organization that I'm against.
All right. So T's got something to say here.
May do that.
Go ahead, T. You live.
Okay, so I just want to clarify. So the recruiting challenge is people adding to our business, right? Coaches?
Right. Yes.
Or adding coaches to our business. Okay.
Yes.
Is there something that we can set up with us, like daily tasks, like for everybody to kind of go through, because I know some people may be a little bit like we're used to recruiting, getting people like challengers, but not necessarily recruiting for our business.
Like a calendar?
Which is a little bit different. So, what?
Like a calendar of different people to talk to or something every day, or what do you?
Oh, you know what? We can use the power of 3. Do you want to do that? And make it purposely driven towards recruiting, or going from customer to coach? What do you think, Rebecca? We'll brainstorm this.
Yeah.
Tammy's asking for like daily tasks.
Okay. And the other thing is, when you're putting together your story, you want to intertwine both the fitness part of it and the business part of it, if you can. You want to try to cover both angles. So this way, at the end of your story, you know which way they're going to go as a prospect.
Right. So like, remember, if this person does not join the business right away, but does end up buying something, that's a win at the end of the day. Even if they only buy a tub of Recover. That's a win at the end of the day, because that's a customer that, one, heard your story, two, is relying on you as a coach to guide them through their journey, and you're not done with them yet. So whether they join right now or next month, you're not done with them, you know? So it's a win at the end of the day. It doesn't matter. I feel like at the end of this challenge, whether you hit your number or not, your volumes are going to go up like crazy, which is huge, okay?
Yeah.
Which is getting that $50 back plus more, you know? So if you think about it, the grand scheme of things, it's going to up your business.
Yeah, and just so you guys are aware, this is based off of Eric Worre's Recruit 20 and 30 program. And I think it was in the Diamond training that was shared also, right?
Yes.
Yeah. This is based off of his training. And to segue into that, for those of you who don't know, Denise and I are leaving Wednesday night. We are going to Eric Worre's GoPro Recruiting Mastery out in Las Vegas for a couple of days, where we're going to learn from, the best of the best. Obviously, Brendan Burchard, Tony Robbins. Pitbull's going to be there. Tons of, seven-figure earners in the network marketing profession. It's going to be amazing, and I can't wait to be there. But you guys also have the opportunity, if you want to watch from home, there is a live stream ticket that you can purchase if you guys want to check that out. If you want, I can post a link to that in the comments in the group if you want to check it out.
Yeah,
it'd be pretty cool.
I suggest if you guys do that, make it a viewing party. Like, get a bunch of your coaches together, have everybody chip in, kind of like a pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? You chip in and you watch it together if you're local.
Yeah, get a few guys together, chip in on and viewing party. It's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Thursday and Friday, 3 days of in-depth training and coaching. Yeah, Tony Robbins is going to be amazing, and Pitbull also.
Yeah,
a lot of good stuff. So again, I'll post that link here in the groups, and I think that's about it. Any comments, questions? Anybody got something to say?
I was going to say, because I know some of us do it, and some of us maybe we don't, because either we haven't made it a habit or realized it. But Sunday night is a great time to practice telling your story and doing a post on Facebook and Instagram, and you can do at least a soft call to action on there about, like I did one earlier today, and I've been doing it now for the last few weeks. But I did one here before the call, where usually I've been doing it after, and I've already gotten at least several people have liked it and commented on. No, I don't know if anybody's commented, but I've gotten several people have already liked or loved it. So, and that, that's though, and you guys know that people will be still watching you and reading what you're posting and not like or comment. And then later on, I've told you the story about because I quit drinking going on 18 years ago now. So I always write a post about it, or a blog post. And I went to my dentist's office probably about 3 or 4 months after that post, and the lady who runs the front desk, the office manager, she read it. She didn't even like it. She didn't comment on it or anything, but she told me how moving that was. So people are reading these things and they're connecting with you, and you can use those different, 1 or 2 of those scenarios. Like Denise said, she had 4. I could probably find ways to do all 5 of them in some way or another. And, I love Denise's phrase. It's like, you don't have to have a poor orphan story to have some way that your life will relates to these 5 things that they've talked about. So, I've got the poor orphan story. So I've gotten better at being vulnerable about them. So I'm talking about that more, but you don't have to have that. And you still have a story. You still have things that you want to change in your life. There's things that you want to improve on. There's ways that your life could be better in all 5 of those areas. So figure out a way. So if you're not used to saying it out loud yet, you can at least get better about it by writing it.
Oh, you know what? You brought up a good point too. I just remembered something. Once you get your story down, guys, practice. Practice saying it out loud. Practice with your spouse. Practice it with your kids. The first person I read it to was my son, Jamie. And I asked for his honest feedback. And the first thing he said to me was that it was relatable, something that, you could relate not just about law enforcement, but anybody in general can relate to that. So I was like, perfect. That's what I want to hear, you know? So you want to practice. Call your mom, call, a relative, somebody who's not involved in the business, and share your story with them. They may not even know your story. They may not even know why you do what you do. Share it with them, and it'll get you better at it, and it'll get you more comfortable speaking it before you speak to a prospect.
Right, networking groups too. You can always join, because Andy talked about that when we had him on our call.
Yeah.
And he's now the president or something of whatever networking group he's in for the year. And I was in one for a while, and that's where I at least got my little tagline that I'm a reformed party girl, couch potato, junk food junkie turned fitness geek, or however I said it. So, and people still remember that. They're like, I love the way you say that. So, I mean, I tell people that still to this day. And, that's like my really quick little 10-second thing there. But, that's another way. If you're more introverted and you have a hard time, we're not all like Denise and could just sit there and blah about everything. Some of us are a little more introverted and need to like stay in our shell. But it still helps you get out there and doing those networking things and get out, because you're in with other professionals and other people who are wanting to connect with you too. So it was like totally freaked me out the first few times I went to that meeting. But, after several times I started getting more comfortable with them, and I was able to say that. It's like every time you start, you go around the table and you tell people who you are and your little 30-second spiel there. So.
Hey guys, can I have smiles? I'm going to take a quick picture and post. And if that doesn't come out cute, then I'll screenshot from the video. Oh, you did it.
I did it.
But we weren't smiling.
Doesn't matter.
Smile.
I like action.
Do it now.
Got it.
Buckets look cute. She was like messing with her shoulder, and then she was like,
always picking his nose over there.
Obi, were you picking your nose? All right,
kids.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. This was awesome. Thank you so much. Anybody else have any comments, questions before we jump off? We're good?
Good.
You're good. All right. Get your homework done, guys. Listen, it's going to be beneficial to you. I promise you. It'll help you release some stuff. Okay. If it's been holding you down for a long time, get it out. Get it on paper. Write it down. Don't type it out. Write it out. Physically write it.
Pen to paper.
Pen to paper. It'll really help you guys.
And
okay.
Guys, don't be cheap and don't be like stingy. Share with everybody, coworkers, family, friends, neighbors, PTA people. And another thing I want to leave you with is go big with that number. Even though I said the minimum is 2, go big with that number. Let it scare you. If you say it out loud and you get a little chill in the back of your neck, then go with it. Okay. All right. Yeah. I believe in you all.
Yes. Awesome, guys. Great call. And let's have a great week. Talk to you guys soon. Have a good night.